Shout out to all the great trainers, man. 5 kids and also getting our athletes ready for SU. We couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
Oh yeah, like the line where you said support performance. Like circuit condition.
We just want to listen.
Well, he doesn't want to talk about it. He said you technically did like
Let's do it for your night marching band. It's a beautiful day here at Night Stadium, and we're in the corn hall. This band here tonight to kick out the contestant stand along with the merchandise table to get plenty of your night merch. A lot of great stuff on display here at Homecoming 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, please send your attention to the field for today's coin toss. Associate referee Kevin Salomon, umpire Paul Raven, head linesman John Railback, line judge Connor Stein, field judge Drew Byron, side judge Micah Henderson, back judge Dakota Conley. Your ninth captain, Henry Audette, number 13, number 16, Devin Watson, number 1, Jamar Robinson, number 3, Kyle Smith, number 22, Spike Adams, and number 77, Henry Brigham. Captains for the Disney Monarchs, number 1, Todd Benton, number 93, Christian Ellington, and number 32, Omar Whitman. Time for football here at Knight Stadium. Both teams are approaching a coin toss. Just a few minutes we're going to have the result to that. Methodist, you're going to be two, and it's going to be your call. You have the USA South logo and Division III logo. You'll be making one of those calls. USA South, Division III. What is your call? USA South, the call. USA South, you're one coin toss. What would you like to do? Methodist wants to receive. You want to kick from the clock down this way? Yes, you do. Methodist will receive away from the clock. As you heard, Methodist has won the toss and has elected to receive to start the game. In accordance with tradition here at Southern University, we'll begin with the word of prayer, which is offered by former football player and 2024 graduate Parker Mueller.
Dear Heavenly Father, we're very thankful for this wonderful, beautiful Saturday and this chance to play this amazing game. We're thankful that Methodist was able to travel here safely and that they made the necessary preparations as well as SVU Knights to play competitively today. We ask for safety over the players, over the officials, over everyone involved in today's contest. We're grateful for all the blessings that we have, for our families, for our friends, and for the chance to be happy and healthy every single day. We pray for these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Parker. Now, if you will all please rise and remove your caps and face the flag. Performing today's national anthem is the Southern Virginia Premier Acapella Group, Accolade.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Knight Stadium on the campus of Southern Virginia University. It's homecoming weekend at Southern Virginia University, and there's plenty of excitement as the 4-1 SVU Knights welcome the Methodist University Monarchs in the USA South Conference matchup. I'm Colby Campen. Alongside me this afternoon is Hank Swedeen. Hank, it's a beautiful fall afternoon here in Buena Vista, and there's plenty of anticipation for this game. The Knights are coming off a tough loss last week at Brevard as we have the kickoff. Methodist receives. And the Knights are able to bring down, that's the returner, Bryson Osby for Methodist. Hank, welcome to the broadcast today. Like I was saying last week, a tough loss for the previously unbeaten Southern Virginia University Knights at Brevard.
Yeah, the stands here, they're packed as the Knights seek to avenge their loss last week. They start off a little bit slow on offense. They only scored 3 points in the first half. They're looking to get ahead of that today. Starting off on defense, I mean, great defensive play on that kickoff. A big hit, get the momentum going their way early.
Great start, like I said, on special teams 2 weeks ago. They struggled a little bit at the start with the special teams. Here Methodist looking to throw. Short pass on the near flat. That is Ty Benton on the reception. Quarterback Ty Little able to find him, and that goes for a first down for Methodist.
Great vision by Little there, under pressure. Something we saw 2 weeks ago here at home as well is that defensive line putting pressure. Good eyes to see that little curl route in the flat on the near side of the field and to hit that.
Little in the shotgun. He'll give, and the Knight defense stacks up the ball carrier at the 30-yard line. Ball carrier, C.J. Ferguson.
Something that Methodist struggles with on offense is their rush game. They average about 51 yards a game, so try to get that established early, maybe bring that number up today.
And the Knight defense, pretty stingy against the rush, only allowing about 84 yards a game, so it'll be a battle. Little to pass, and that's batted down there. That is number 95, Traden Henderson.
The freshman out of Blackfoot already making his presence known today, getting up in the quarterback's face, getting his hands up, forcing the incompletion.
Got one of those big hands up to deflect that pass, and that will bring up 3rd and 8 for the Monarchs.
The Monarchs are 24% on 3rd down. And like you said, SVU defense pretty good here.
Flag on the play as Little is sacked in the backfield by number 44, Cade Hansen. Will await the call.
I think this is going to be offsides on the Knights.
That was offsides there by the Knights. So that'll give Methodist 5 yards. Shorten that 3rd down to a 3rd and 3 here at the Monarchs 41-yard line.
That's huge on the first drive of the game. Working down the field, make it a reasonable 3rd down.
Little looks across the middle. Once again, he's pressured, and the ball will fall short, so the Knight defense will hold. And it looks like Methodist will go ahead and punt the ball away to Southern Virginia. So a good defensive series there. Methodist did get an initial 1st down, but the Knights defense dug in and got the stop here.
Always helpful not to go 3 and out to start off, but of course that's not ideal.
Kenneth Shane, the punter for Methodist, he gets it off. And Jalen Lackey will let the ball bounce. It takes a Methodist bounce, and it will be down back at the SVU 6-yard line. So that is where the 4-1 Knights will begin their first offensive possession here this afternoon.
Like I mentioned earlier, last week started off slow. Only 3 points in the first half, and it's tough when your quarterback is your leading rusher as well. Devin Watson had about 70 yards rushing on that game. So if I'm the coach, I'm looking to change that, establish the run early here.
Which they will likely do since they're beginning deep in their own territory. Watson, he's going to put it up in the air, and that is picked off. Picked off by number 27, Jalen McKee of Methodist.
Key theme I'm seeing today from both quarterbacks is they're underthrowing the ball. I don't know if they just didn't get warmed up enough before the game, if it's the environment right now, but Little just has been a little bit more lucky with where he's underthrown it. Watson tried to go deep right off the bat, and unfortunately right into the hands of the defensive back.
Matt, there was some space there, and you never know, big game, homecoming game, maybe trying to manage the adrenaline a little bit. So the Knight defense, they head back out onto the field, looking to get the ball back for the offense. Handoff, and looking for the edge, and tripped up by Ty Smith after a short gain. It looks like that was Bryson Osby with the carry.
Yeah, good run by Methodist. I mean, SVU's defense was in there. They plugged up the middle, and just the vision to bounce it out, and a great open field tackle by Ty Smith.
Looks like that was a gain of 4 on the play, so 2nd and 6. Little going to take it up the middle, and there he is hit at about the line of scrimmage. That's Tony Napper coming up, making the initial hit. Flag on the play once again. And that will be holding call going against the offensive line of Methodist, so that will back the ball up. And that will put this Methodist offense a little bit behind the chains now.
Yeah, after a good, first play, it's not what you want to see, go backwards, especially in such good field position.
Short pass attempt over the middle, falls incomplete. Spike Adams on the coverage for the Knights. Brings up a 2nd and 20 for Methodist. They are on the SVU 36-yard line.
Spike Adams, he's one of the leaders on this defense here at linebacker. Look for him to make an impact along with that defensive line today.
Spike is the 2nd leading tackler for the Knight defense. Little once again looking to throw. He'll lob it up over the middle. He had a receiver and a flag comes down. Looks like they're going to get Tony Napper for an infraction. We'll wait the call. And that will be pass interference.
It looked like to me that Napper just got lost the ball, lost where he was at, and just tried to stay tight on that receiver's hip and ended up holding him a little bit.
So that'll be an automatic first down, 1st and 10 Methodist on the 21-yard line of Southern Virginia. The handoff looking for a sweep. And Connor Owens right there with the tackle. Once again, the handoff went to Bryson Osby.
That stretch concept worked a little bit earlier in this drive, trying to go do it again. Defense all over that.
Loss of 2 on the play. Methodist has 4 receivers. One goes in motion. They're going to hand off to Ferguson. He's hitting the backfield, stacked up, and that'll be another loss. Knight defense really attacking the ball carrier so far today, Hank.
I mean, we kind of harp on it a lot, but the SVU defensive line, right? They get in there. They are physical. They are big. They find ways to disrupt almost any play. In the last 5 games, 34 tackles for loss by this defense. So they are intimidating, scary up front.
That's an impressive stat. That's a lot of tackles for loss. And Methodist now, they're facing a 3rd and 18. Little leaves the pocket, and an open field tackle there made by Jamar Robinson. And that'll bring up 4th and long for Methodist. Be interesting to see what they do here, Hank. They are 0 for 4 this season on field goal attempts.
Their 4th down conversion percentage is 57%, so
looks like they're going to line up here. It'll be a 38-yard field goal attempt. Ethan Emery. And that's going to be a little wide right. So the Knight defense, they come in and hold once again after the turnover.
I mean, a great showing. Kind of a seesaw drive, though. Penalties on both sides. A little bit of uncertainty, but in the end, that SVU defense held strong, made it difficult to make that field goal. It's a little bit long, put them in a 4th and 10 situation. Really makes it easy on themselves, and hopefully this offense can get back out here and turn things around.
Yeah, defense put a little bit of pressure on themselves with that pass interference call, but they were up to the task and get the ball over for the offense. Watson, pass over the middle, just beyond the outstretched hands of DJ Perry. DJ had a little room to run.
I expect that, you know, I talked earlier about establishing the run. That's going to be big, but middle of the game, late game, as the team gets more comfortable, they're going to air it out. They're number 33 in the country for passing offense. Devin Watson's number 25 for passing yards. They're going to want to trust him.
Watson coming off a big week last week at Brevard. And they're in the hands of tight end Henry Audette, but he is hit.
That big hit causes the incompletion. Huge for the Monarchs to force a 3rd and 10, right? That's a lot more manageable for them than a 3rd and 5, a 3rd and 6.
Big hit made by Zachariah Griffin of Methodist. So the Knights now in a 3rd and 10. The Knights still look for their first down of the game. And Watson once again into traffic. And that pass will fall incomplete, intended for Isaiah Maxey. And the punting unit will come onto the field.
Yeah, SVU, 3rd down's not their bread and butter. They're 40% on that throughout the year. That's a tough one. 3rd and 10, couple incompletions. I would hope that they go to the run after this a little bit more, and then just short passes to build Watson's confidence.
Passy back to punt. A good high punt. Fair catch is signaled and taken by Methodist.
Pretty good field position for them again. We'll see if they can use it. They're on their own side of the 50, but only by 5 yards, so looking to take advantage of that.
So Methodist will take over at their 45-yard line. 9 minutes, 28 seconds left in this first quarter. Little looking to throw once again. And that ball is complete at the 46-yard line of Southern Virginia. So that'll be a 9-yard gain for Methodist. Put them in a 2nd and 1.
Yeah, great effort by the receiver there to come back and get that ball and that hitch. Underthrown, but effort from the receiver makes that a completion and helps a lot. Gives them 2nd and short. Playbook's really open here, play action, they can run it, they can just go long. They've got another down to use after this.
Tyrone Atkinson goes to the ground to make that catch. The give and hit immediately in the backfield for another loss is C.J. Ferguson. And once again, Hank, that Knight defense, they're really tough against the run.
Yeah, that's I don't dislike that call by Methodist. Still early on, right? 2nd and short, like I mentioned. They can try it, see what opens up for them, but they're going to find a dingy interior there. Stingy interior, sorry. Right now where SU's struggling is out on the edge, those hitch routes, those curls. We'll see if that's where they go here, this 3rd and short. They need this.
Loss of 1 on the play puts Methodist in a 3rd and 2. Little with the give to Ferguson once again. Knight defense hits him right at the line, but Ferguson looks like he's going to be able to fall forward and get the first down for Methodist.
Just good, tough running there. I mean, I think maybe the defense was expecting them to go out wide too, just like me. Methodist takes advantage of that, gets the first down. Just nice and simple.
First and 10, Monarchs. They're at the Knight 44-yard line. Little keeps it, and he'll go up the middle for about 3 yards.
A little bit of read option, seeing what they can open up. They've given it to the running back in the backfield a couple of times. They were obviously able to draw some of the Knight defenders off, so a nice 4-yard gain.
Methodist line up with 4 receivers. Ferguson in the backfield with Little. Little looking downfield, and he will throw complete for a first down.
You know, this is something that we saw the Southern Virginia defense struggle with 2 weeks ago at home as well. To start out that game, just playing soft on the edges, just giving them that, don't want anything over the top. But in those instances last week, the defense was able to bend and not break, which is what they're looking for. And in the second half, they really switched that up, came after them, forced turnovers.
Yep, they made some good adjustments at halftime. Colin Fay on the reception for Methodist. Little gives to Ferguson. Again, he's hit right at the line of scrimmage for minimal gain. Looks like we'll call it a yard on the play.
Just a, simple dive right up the middle. Try and get some hard running going. Wear out that interior of the defense, since that's where SVU is the strongest.
Second and 9. Ball's on the 20-yard line, 30-yard line of SVU. Little looks downfield. He's got a man, and it is just a little high through the outstretched hands. And that will be incomplete and bring up 3rd and 9.
It's pretty scary if you're SVU there. Wide receiver had the defender beat on the outside, came across the middle for that post route, and he was wide open, just a little overthrown.
The Knight defense dodges a little bullet on that play. And a flag is thrown before the snap.
Methodist, they're not a terrible team when it comes to penalties, but it's hurt them in the past. This year, they've had 34 penalties for 377 yards over 5 games. It's about 75 yards a game, so already it's impacting them here, making it 3rd and really long, gonna make it really hard for them.
Also pushes them back another 5 yards to where a field goal they're gonna have to gain almost a first down to really have an attempt. Little throws wide, complete, and the ball comes out, picked up. And the Knights are taking it back. And that is Britton Tidwell again, the freshman, picks up the ball and takes it to the house for a touchdown.
Once again, this Knight defense, I mean, they will find opportunities and take them. They lead the nation right now among Division III football teams for defensive touchdowns, and for no reason either, or not for no reason, but I mean, they force these turnovers. They put themselves in good spots defensively to take advantage of it.
You know, Methodist, they've thrown It was a pass. It was going to be short of a first down, but the Knight defense really flocked to the ball once again and caused that turnover. And Tidwell, in the right place at the right time, picks it up and went untouched. Fumble on the snap. Javen Ball fighting to try and get some yardage. In the end, he's stacked up by Methodist. So with the failed point after, the Knights will take a 6-0 lead with 4 minutes and 52 seconds left here in this first half. And they'll take the lead without having gained a first down on offense so far, Hank.
Yeah, but this could really change things for them. They started out slow last week. I mean, they already have more points than they scored in the first half last week. Hopefully that energy kind of injects into this offense and gives them some go, as you could say, just some get up, and they can take it down the field and score here. Of course, defense is coming back out, so they'll have to wait for that, but energy on defense too will be big.
Well, and I think that's one of the situations where the defense isn't going to mind. They just put 6 points up on the board, so they're going to be energized, and the offense will await their opportunity, make some adjustments, and they'll be ready to go when they get the ball back. So Scott Dupay will kick it away once again for the Knights. And Methodist will await Bryson Osby and Ty Benton. Osby. And the Knights are stringing him out, and he'll be hit and brought down at the 21-yard line, but there is a flag on the play. And Hank, that looks like it's in the area where they're probably going to back the Monarchs up a little bit.
Not ideal for the Monarchs, but great special teams by the Knights today. Both kickoffs they've had, they've come out and just gotten down the field fast, really put the returner in a position where they don't have the space to make a move and find the space on the field.
After the kick, and during the return, holding the shooting team, number 1, opposition to the goal, first down, Methodist.
So it will be a holding call on Methodist, and that's going to back them up to their own 7-yard line. Well, they will begin this possession. 4 minutes, 44 seconds remaining in this first quarter.
Special teams making it really easy on the defense. I mean, they go down there, they force a turnover, score, and then special teams pins the Monarchs inside their own 10, lets defense kind of have a go.
Little with the give, and the Knight defense stacks up Toby Cates, and he'll gain 2 yards on the play. Just to touch on the special teams, Hank, 2 weeks ago, the average starting point for Greensboro was near midfield through the first quarter. The Knights have really turned that around. A lot of good work on special teams in the last couple of weeks to improve that.
You don't really think about how much that extra 20 yards puts, how much extra that does for an offense. They're fresher, they're stronger, right? They don't have to march down the entire field. They're able to score quicker and put the defense under pressure faster. So when you can get in a position like this, you give your defense a break, and you make it hard on the opposing offense, and it really just it opens options for your defense. You can press, you can kind of stay off them, you can rush the quarterback. A lot of it's open to you. You can try stuff. You can see what's working for your defense and what won't.
So Methodist, another short run. They're in a 3rd and 8. And the defense, once again for SVU, comes up with a big stop. That's Connor Owens with the tackle. And that'll bring up 4th and 7 for Methodist. And they're going to have to punt it away. And they'll be punting from their own end zone.
I've been really impressed with Southern Virginia's tackling today. The Monarchs, they've been able to get some of their guys, but Defense has stood their ground, broke down, made the open field tackles they had to force situations like this.
Shane kicks it away. Fielded by Lackey. And he will be taken down after pretty much no return, and that is where the Knight offense will pick things up from the Methodist 46-yard line. So we'll see what adjustments the Knight offense was able to make during those 2 possessions and how they respond to coming out on the field with a 6-point lead now.
Yeah, tough first 2 drives, interception, 3 and out, but they've got great field position here, got some energy after the defensive score. We'll see if they try and go big.
And a pitch wide to Roger Adam, and he will be brought down after no gain on the play. So 2nd and 10. The Knights have a bunch at the top of the formation. Watson looking for a receiver. He has one, Jalen Lackey. And that is the Knights' first down of the game today. Watson with a lot of time there, and Lackey was able to find some space. An easy pitch and catch right there.
Yep, that deep out route, build confidence for Watson, get this offense moving.
The give to Adam, and he's got a little bit of room. And he will gain 5 yards on that play.
Like what SVU's doing, right? That very first play of the drive, just a short toss play, then the pass out, and now run up the middle, mixing things up.
Flag on the play. So too many men on the field as Monarch was trying to make a last-second substitution. And that 5 yards will give the Knights a first down at the Methodist 21-yard line. The give to Sollers. And he will pick up 2 yards on the play.
That looked like a good run. That hole was there on this close side of the field, that C gap, but looked like Sollers slipped a little bit and fell right into a tackle.
2nd and 8, Watson looking to throw, and he's got a man, and that's a touchdown. And that throw there goes to MJ Laws, sophomore out of Heathville, Virginia.
That's going to be his first touchdown on the year.
And Hank, that was kind of an easy read right there. We could see from the broadcast booth, MJ beat his man early and got that separation. So the Knights will take a 12-0 lead with the point after pending.
And honestly, it was kind of impressive because Laws was not the only one open. It seemed just about every single wide receiver for the Knights had some space on that play. So we're looking, that'll definitely be an impact later on. Mentioned earlier how Watson, he's number 25 in the nation right now for passing yardage. He's got, I think I counted earlier, 6 receivers with 100 yards or more, but none of them have over 200 yards. So he spreads the ball out a lot, and I think that's probably a lot to do with his success this season is he's finding different receivers, he's giving everyone the ball.
Puts a lot of pressure on that defense to cover every offensive player out on the field outside of the offensive line, where you've got the backs, you've got your tight ends, and obviously the wide receivers that Watson is comfortable throwing to. Point after was good execution by special teams on that point after. So 13-0, and we await the kick of Scott Dupay once again. Kicking away to Methodist. Bryson Osby and Ty Benton back to receive. Osby will take the kick, and he's out just across the 25-yard line before he's brought down. So Methodist will take over from their 28-yard line. And that's where they'll look to get moving again on offense. Kind of stalled out, the last couple possessions after starting out a little bit more promising to begin the game.
Yeah, good return here. That'll help a lot. They're not pinned inside their own 10. That 3 now really hurt them, so we'll see what they try to do. If they change anything up, if they try the same things to bounce back.
Little with Ferguson on his side, 4 receivers, and there's pressure up the middle, and that is going to be a sack. That was Spike Adams that got through early, and then Traden Henderson, Kavika Bringhurst, and Joseph Woods all gang up to get the sack.
Team effort there. Spike Adams, he's probably just kicking himself. He was right there. If he'd just broken down a little bit, you would have had him. But forces the pressure. The quarterback has to step up right into that plethora of defensive linemen.
Spike was probably a little surprised that he got through the line so easily. Probably a little off balance that he didn't have to absorb any hits. So that'll be a loss of 7. And that'll bring up a 2nd and 17 when we come back for the second quarter. Time runs out there on the first quarter. SVU, during their homecoming game, takes a 13-0 lead out of the first quarter at home, here against Methodist.
That first 10 minutes, offense came out really slow, really struggling. Defense, they stepped up. They forced a turnover and took it down to the end zone, and then special teams tacked right onto that, forcing the Monarch offense inside their own 10, and gave that energy back to the offense, gave them some more confidence to come out and march right back down the field and score.
SVU's defense has been very solid here throughout this first quarter. We talked about their numbers. They've been solid all year, really, and they come out very strong. Don't let anything get out of hand to begin the first quarter, as the SVU offense sputtered a little bit, but now it looks like everybody's clicking on all cylinders. And sure, Southern Virginia, they're excited for this second quarter now, as they'll start the defense on the field in a 2nd and 17 against the Monarch offense.
Once again, a great start for the SVU Knights. They're probably a little hurt about last week, right? Their defense has been so good, and they allowed 35 points last week despite a late second half push. The Knights couldn't walk away with a W, but that was the most points allowed all season, and they're looking for some redemption today, and you can tell.
And the Brevard offense is typically a potent offense, and it showed, but obviously defense has a lot of pride. And right there, a short completion. And Alex Passy gets the tackle in the open field.
Makes it really hard for the Monarchs here. 3rd and 15, it looks like.
It looks like a gain of 2 on the play, so that'll be 3rd and 15.
So they've got to get a first down, they've got to go deep. They might try their deep outs again, or a deep pitch.
Little to throw. And he has a receiver. Blake Beardall on the coverage, knocks the receiver out of bounds. And a flag went to the field. Be interesting to see what the call is by the officials.
Yeah, it looks like he pushed him right into the first down marker. Don't know if they'll give it to him or not. If this penalty could, make it a 4th and 1 into a first down, or I expect it'll be something.
So they're actually going to get Beardall with a hit out of bounds on that, which, you know, from our vantage point, that was tough to see whether the receiver had already stepped out. It looked like a solid play, but the flag was thrown, so that will give Methodist a first down, and that's a big play for them as they were facing that 3rd and 15, and it looked like they were just short, so they were going to have to make a decision.
Yeah, now no decision needs to be made. They're on this side of the 50. Playbook's open.
The give to Ferguson, and he's hit immediately and wrestled to the ground. Looks like that is Traden Henderson. Traden Henderson really has a nose for the ball, always right there. Any running back that tries to go right up the middle, they're going to go nose to nose with Traden Henderson.
Yeah, Henderson immediately reached out with his long arms, got that running back, and you know, even then still got 2 yards, but you can imagine how much they could have gotten without Henderson there.
Little looking downfield, he'll scramble, and he's going to scramble for about 8 yards near the first down marker. Looks like it'll be marked about a yard short, so we'll have 3rd and 1 for the Monarchs.
The way this defense has been playing, you kind of shy away from running it up the middle here, even though it's 3rd and short. But I wouldn't be surprised if they give it to Osby on a zone read or just an outside zone here.
And there's the give to Osby, and he snakes his way through the middle, and that'll be a first down for Methodist.
Good play call by Methodist there. That zone, they've pulled it once, just enough to give the defense a little bit of a hesitation. They only need a yard or 2. Osby was able to get that first down for Methodist.
First and 10 Methodist. Little looking for a receiver, and he'll be caught and dragged down from behind by Connor Owens. It's going to be a short gain for Little as he was being pursued by 2 or 3 Knight defenders, and Connor Owens was able to get to him first.
Good hustle by that defensive line. Little had some space in front of him, could have gotten 5 or 6 yards, but because they were able to hustle and get them, it's only a gain of 1.
Hey, don't coach him, throw the flag!
Little looks to throw across the middle. He has a receiver, that's Ty Benton, and that will be a first down for Methodist. And that will take Methodist down to the Knight 15-yard line, 1st and 10.
Knight defense, they look to be in a zone coverage there. Some good footwork. Found the receiver right there in the middle of the field, wide open, and they are knocking on the doorstep of a touchdown here. We'll see if the defense, like usual, can hold and bend instead of break, but Methodist has some momentum, so this is a exciting series inside the red zone here.
A good drive by the Methodist offense so far. There's the give up the middle, and the Knight defense will bring Osby down after a gain of about 4 yards. Osby takes the ball down to the 11.
Yeah, on that last play, Ty Benson, the receiver, look for Little to go to him a lot today. He seems to be their standout. You know, they're number 1 with 20 receptions for 233 yards this year, 1 touchdown. He's about as close to a wide receiver 1 as Methodist has.
2nd and 6. Little sets up the screen. Osby, and Osby's going to take it into the end zone for a touchdown for Methodist.
Just a simple screen here inside the 20. Defensive line getting a little overzealous, trying to get to the quarterback. Left Osby one-on-one with the defender, Tony Napper Jr. Some good footwork. Gives him enough to get into the end zone.
Ethan Emery on for the extra point for Methodist. And the kick is up and hits the upright, so no good. And so with 9 minutes and 44 seconds left in the first half, Southern Virginia leads by a score of 13-6. Hank, a little bit interesting here as we look and kind of see how this game is unfolding for the Methodist offense. Osby was not the leading carrier for Methodist, nor the leading receiver for Methodist coming into this game, but he's really kind of been the featured player so far. You know, several carries and been the target of several pass attempts by Little.
Yeah, he's looking to be their weapon today. And even when he's not making big yardage, he's opening up the field for, you know, receptions for Benton or runs for Little to take. You know, they've run that zone option, that read option a couple times. I would expect them to continue doing that. It worked on this drive. They're going to try and stretch out the field, kind of get the defensive line running back and forth, wear them out. Like we said before, that's SVU's strongest unit on defense, is this defensive line. So if they can wear them out, get them running back and forth, it'll be big for Methodist, their offense, their run game, and then opening up the pass game as well.
Stevie Leo takes the kick, and he's got a little bit of a seam, and he's out across the 35-yard line. So a good return, and the special teams, they continue to do a good job here today in this game.
That's huge to give them an extra 10, 15 yards for the offense to go. We've mentioned before, special teams is having a big impact for the Knights today. We'll see if the offense can punch back after that defense let Methodist in.
Swing pass. That goes out wide to number 40, Crew Sage. Sage tackled after a short gain of about 2. Crew Sage was the USA South Rookie of the Week this past week. Watson with the completion across the middle to DJ Perry. That'll be a first down, and the Knights are already into Monarch territory.
And what a throw by Watson. I mean, he had a defender almost draped all over him, and the amount of speed he put on that ball to get it in there was impressive.
Devin Watson with the keeper, the fake to Sage, and then Watson takes off for a 12-yard gain and another first down for Southern Virginia. And the Knights really working the tempo offense right now in this possession, Hank.
Yeah, I mean, Watson is a dual threat quarterback. He didn't lead the offensive rush yards last week for no reason, showing it there.
And under pressure, Watson throws it away. And a late flag comes in on the play. Looks like this is going to go against SVU. So a holding call on Southern Virginia will back them up 10 yards. And put them in a 1st and 20. Lackey in motion, gets the pass And he gets a good block on the outside from Isaiah Maxey. And the Knights are able to gain. Looks like they gained back the penalty plus a yard, so put them in a 2nd and 9.
Almost exactly like that play earlier on the drive, just a wide receiver screen, a swing pass. Able to get behind his blockers on this side this time and get upfield.
Pass intended for Mahanri Smith Follow. Incomplete.
Just took his eyes off the ball a little too soon, aware of that defender right behind him, looking for that hit. Just couldn't bring the ball back in.
Looks like the defender might have gotten to him right as the ball got there as well, making it a little bit difficult to make that completion. 3rd and 9. And pass is complete across the middle. DJ Perry once again with the reception. Good hands there by DJ as he got that out in front of him. And again, he was hit immediately and managed to maintain control.
We've seen it this game already, is these Methodist defensive backs, they're doing a really good job of contesting every ball. And it's worked for them sometimes, but the Knights, the wide receivers, they're doing a good job getting hands on, keeping it close to their chest, having hands there.
Pass was intended for Jariq Washington. It was well defended, but there was a flag on the play. Offsides on Methodist. So that will bring Southern Virginia into a 2nd and about 4 yards. Dupay goes in motion. Toss to Roger Adam. And he has brought down a good tackle there behind the line of scrimmage.
Methodist all over that one. Right from the beginning, it was about a 1v3. Just snuffed that one out before it could develop any.
So down marker says 2nd and 8. Watson under pressure, trying to get loose, and he is going to be brought down for a sack.
Huge for this Methodist defense. They've struggled a little bit on defense. SVU, they've been driving. They started on their own side of the field. They've eaten up the yards, get down close to the red zone, and I mean, Methodist really stood up and they've created a wall that SVU's having a hard time getting through.
Watson again back to pass, again under pressure, and he will go down once again.
Methodist defensive linemen, they're smelling blood in the water, getting pretty excited, getting back there fast. And this offensive line, the outside offensive linemen, they're struggling a little bit. Maybe it's been a long drive. They might be a little tired, but.
Sacks on consecutive plays by the Methodist defense. Puts the Knights in a 4th and 20.
Good defensive series by the Monarchs. Like I said earlier, SVU was driving, getting close to the red zone, and 3 negative plays in a row for SVU. The run to the outside and then 2 sacks.
Looks like it was Christian Ellington on the sack for Methodist. Timeout on the field. called by Southern Virginia as they face this 4th and 20.
Coming to this game, Ellington had 2 sacks, making his presence known here. I think, yep, he's the team leader on sacks for the Methodist defense. The defense itself has 8 sacks over the year coming into this game. So they're certainly going to make their presence known, and they have today already. We'll see after this timeout if Southern Virginia, if their offensive line has made some adjustments, trying to keep Watson safe back there.
So Marcus Price onto the field for this 4th and 20. Marcus, the backup quarterback. He is a freshman out of Parker, Colorado. And he's going to do just a quick punt. And that is just going to get into the end zone. So Methodist, they will come back out and start at their own 20-yard line.
Last drive, they took it down. They were able to score off that screen, starting deep in their own territory this time, but I expect them to take this momentum of a defensive stop and a score to push them, and they're going to keep swinging out wide, trying to get those deep passes opened up, but Osby, like we talked about, has been a weapon. Expect them to use him a lot this drive.
Methodist back out. Ferguson will flank Little here on this 1st and 10. Ferguson with the carry, and he is brought down after a gain of 1.
That was a great tackle. Before he was brought down, he was brought up a little bit. Fun to see.
Looks like it was Traden Henderson and Britton Tidwell on that stop. The 2 of them did the heavy lifting there, like you mentioned. Looks like they'll give him 2 on the carry, so 2nd and 8 for Methodist. And the pass intended for Ty Benton falls incomplete to bring up a 3rd and 8 for Methodist with just under 4.5 minutes remaining in the first half.
Good pass defense by Southern Virginia on that one. There was the tiniest amount of space for that wide receiver to try and get that ball, but they were on them like a blanket. Pretty good. Force that incompletion.
Ferguson in the backfield with Little. Little under pressure, he leaves the pocket and he throws, and that ball will be out of bounds, so incomplete, and that will bring up 4th and 8 for Methodist. The Methodist punting team will come onto the field and kick it away. And the Knight offense will get an opportunity here, Hank, with 4 minutes, 20 seconds left to see if they can add more points before halftime.
Yeah, you almost wonder if Methodist passing it here, if they gave SU too much time. I mean, defense did a good job last time, but we know the Southern Virginia offense can be explosive.
Kick is away. Fair catch is called for and taken by Jalen Lackey. And the Knights will begin this possession at their own 46-yard line. So that will be pretty good field position when we come back, as we'll take a brief timeout before the Knight offense comes back out onto the field. Welcome back, everybody. Devin Watson brings his offense back out onto the field. Lackey in motion. The give is to Roger Adam, and he'll take that out near a first down. Looks like the referees will spot him just about a yard short. So a good start to this possession for the Knights.
Yeah, Roger Adam looking to be the bell cow today. Lots of handoffs so far.
Watson, quick completion for a first down out to Isaiah Maxey. Looks like a gain of about 7 on the play. Takes the Knights down to the Methodist 32-yard line, and the Knight offense is on the move. Screen pass, and Roger Adam is brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Looks like that was Wesley Folsom with the tackle for Methodist.
This drive's been a good example of Devin Watson spreading the ball out to Isaiah Maxey, to Roger Adam. Both big targets for him in the passing game. And opposite sides of the field, right? He's been wide. See, they might come in a little bit more to the inside here.
Another screen to Jarique Washington, and he splits 2 defenders and gets about a 9-yard gain to bring up 3rd and 4. We'll call it 5 yards to go. And there's the give up the middle, Marcus Solers, and he's going to take that inside the 20-yard line for a first down, Southern Virginia.
Great run for Solers. He's got 35 rushers for 67 yards on the year so far.
And Watson under pressure goes down, and the ball is loose. And the ball is fallen. Trevor Burke falls onto the ball to recover that.
Good for the Knights. I mean, it's 2nd and long, but they've still got the opportunity to drive down the field and to make a play here. On the other hand, if they'd lost that fumble, right, the defense is back out. That might be the end of their opportunity this half to score again.
No, unfortunately for the Knights, another sack on Watson, which caused the fumble. But like you said, fortunately, they're able to recover that. We're in the 2-minute timeout here, and that gives the Knights the opportunity to run some more clock. Maybe, of course, they're still going to be looking to put some points on the board here, but it's going to force Methodist to make a decision. Are they going to spend their timeouts to try and get the ball back, or just allow the Knights to run that clock, run the time off the clock as they pursue some points?
One thing to point out is that Southern Virginia, they've only attempted 1 field goal in 5 games. They're 1 for 1 on that field goal, but it's something that they don't go to a lot, something that I wouldn't expect them to go to here. Even if they do get really close, they want to score. They want touchdowns. And if not, they want to force bad field position for Methodist.
So 2nd and 17 is what the Knights face here with 2 minutes remaining in the half. Watson with Roger Adam in the backfield. And the snap is fumbled, and it's on the ground. And once again, the Knights are able to fall on the ball. That's Jalen Lackey. Not sure if there was some miscommunication there between Watson and Christian Janice.
Yeah, this Knight offense, 2 fumbles, but really lucky to get them back both times. That's something that doesn't happen a lot when the quarterback fumbles, because everyone's looking downfield. They've got their assignments, so we're able to hop on the ball both times. Doesn't happen a lot.
3rd and a very long ways here. Watson has a receiver. Pass intended for Jarique Washington, and he is hit, and the ball ends up incomplete.
That's a really tough pitch and catch to make. Washington had it right on the fingertips. Like we said earlier, this Methodist defense, they've done a good job contesting every throw, every catch. Saw it there.
So the punting unit will come on here with just over a minute left in the half. A little interesting there, Hank, that Methodist did not call a timeout after that last fumble, because it looked like they would have some pretty good field position. Instead, time ran off the clock. Passey's punt will roll out of bounds at the Methodist 11. So about a minute 5 left in the half, and Methodist will take over from their 11-yard line.
And that is a monumental task to go 90 yards, 89 yards in a minute, especially against this Southern Virginia defense. We've talked about it and talked about how good they are, how good their secondary is, how good their defensive line is. And in a situation like this, if they're going to air it out and try and score a defensive line, they're just trying to get to the quarterback. They know what the offense is trying to do.
Yeah, the defense loves these types of situations. Got an offense starting from deep in their own territory. Defense can kind of just pin their ears back and rush the quarterback. Cade Hansen, he's looking, and pass across the middle, complete. That goes complete to Toby Cates. First down Methodist out to their 30-yard line. Clock continues to run. Little under pressure, and he'll be sacked by Jamar Robinson. Looks like a loss of about 12 yards.
That's a little confusing to me. I would expect Methodist to call a timeout on that last play, right? Big gain, big yardage. There's no need to rush, right? Call a timeout, get together, find something that works so you can get further downfield. You've got under a minute. Questionable time management there from my point
And the
of view.
interesting thing here, Hank, is now after the sack, which puts them in a 2nd and 17, Methodist does use the first of their timeouts. 40 seconds remaining, so what that means, SVU with 2 timeouts remaining, they can now use their timeouts, play some defense, maybe get another sack, you never know, and force Methodist to have to kick the ball away still in this first half, deep from their own side.
Yeah, this is just one of those things where a timeout changes a lot. You go from being on the attack, you've made a big play going downfield, and all of a sudden you're on your back foot. You got to call timeout. You got to regroup, and the defense, they got hope. They might be able to get the ball back with as much as 30 seconds left on the clock.
So this is actually a 2nd and 22 from the Monarchs' 18-yard line. And a flag is thrown.
Offense, number 15, 5-yard penalty. Remaining 7 down. Clock operator, 30-second play clock, 40 seconds. 40 seconds on the game clock.
So another 5 yards that Methodist will lose on the penalty. And that puts them at their 13-yard line now. Once again, back to pass. Leaves the pocket, and he'll throw downfield. He has a receiver, but the ball will fall incomplete. Tony Napper there on the defense, and that'll bring 3rd and very long.
Defensive line put a little under pressure. He had to roll out, right? Not able to make an ideal throw that he wants. Can't set his platform. But Methodist, they're back where they started on this drive.
At the end of the day, it was really a very good throw by Little on the run, like you said, going to his right. Threw it about 40 yards downfield. Methodist 3rd and 27 from their 13 with 32 seconds remaining in this half. A quick pass out wide. And Methodist will be knocked out of bounds, so the clock will stop.
that's big for SVU. Off this punt, they can, go into this next drive, assuming Methodist does punt, with 2 timeouts instead of 1.
It looks like 28 seconds on the clock.
This next 30 seconds is going to be huge to how the momentum gets carried into the second half. If SVU scores, that's big for them. They're going to carry that momentum. But if Methodist stops them,
so there was a flag thrown on Methodist for holding, and that penalty is declined. So the punting unit will come on for Methodist. It's like we were saying, Hank, SVU, they're going to get the ball back here with 2 timeouts in 28 seconds. At least the punt's going to happen with 28 seconds. We'll see. Of course, SVU is going to try and pick that up as quickly as possible so that time doesn't go off the clock, but they're going to be in a decent situation.
Yeah, the Knights, they're probably going to play fast and loose here, just try and get on the board before.
And as the punter was trying to kick, the referee blew the play dead.
The ruling on the field is the punter was down when he grabbed the ball. Therefore, there is no foul on the play. First down, Southern Virginia.
So the call on the play is that as the punter was receiving the snap, his knee touched the ground, so the ball is down. So the Knights, they're going to get a huge break right here where they're going to have first down. And I'm not quite sure yet, Hank, where the ball is being spotted, but they're going to be inside their 15-yard line.
Yeah.
The 15-yard line of Methodist.
I mean, you don't see that very often, especially within 30 seconds of the half. This is huge for SVU. They can immediately start going after the end zone. They don't have to use up their timeouts trying to move from their 50 in, but they can just immediately start attacking the end zone, use the time that they have. Not really worried about giving Methodist the ball back.
So there was a strong rush on the play from the Knights special teams unit trying to get to to block the punt. They didn't know it all happened so quickly that the referee had blown the whistle, and the SVU player was injured as he was going after that kick. He is up and coming off the field. And Hank, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like that's number 52, Tyler Edwards, a freshman out of Portsmouth, Virginia.
Let's go, O-line!
So the Knight offense will take over. The ball's being spotted at the 8-yard line of Methodist. The give to Roger Adam. He'll take it to the 5-yard line. Knights will use the first of their 2 timeouts.
Don't mind the call there, right? You've got the 2 timeouts. They're inside their own 10. Why not hand it off? Let your runner run, do what he's good at, and get some yardage or even a touchdown. There's
No, with those 2 timeouts, like we mentioned, Methodist not using, throwing the ball downfield, not forcing SVU to use their timeouts. Knights are left with 2, so they can still run the ball if they choose to do so.
Yep, SVU, if they score here, you could reasonably put it down to the Methodist University's time management. Not great at the end of the half here, giving SVU the opportunity to attack the end zone. And then, of course, that special teams debacle, not great for Methodist either.
So ball's been placed on the 6-yard line, 2nd and goal to go. 19 seconds remaining in this half. Watson in the shotgun. And pass thrown into the end zone, intended for DJ Perry.
Same formation, same motion, same played look as last time. This time they decided to air it out a little bit. Just incomplete.
3rd and goal from the 6. And the give is to Roger Adam, and he is brought down by a trio of Monarch defenders. So the Knights will use their final timeout of the half.
This is a big one here. 4th down, final seconds of the half. This could be huge for SVU if they're able to score here, take the momentum into the locker room, into halftime, make adjustments, come out, with that energy. I expect them to trust Watson here. He's been pretty good all day, except that first drive or two. Since then, he's made adjustments. He's fixed it. He's their big playmaker, dual threat quarterback. He can run it. He can pass it. I'm going to put the ball in his hands, trust him to make the play.
So you're going for it. You're going to forego the 25-yard field goal attempt, and you're going to go for the touchdown here.
I'm going for it. Low risk, high reward.
Knights using their final timeout to discuss their options. It'll be interesting to see what Coach Joe DuPay decides to do right here. As we've mentioned, Coach DuPay, he's only elected to attempt 1 field goal on the season. And it looks like we're going to have the 2nd attempt coming up here at the end of this first half, as Alex Passy is out onto the field with Javen Ball, the holder. So it looks like this ball will be put down at about the 14-yard line, so it'll be a 24-yard field goal attempt here for Passy. And the kick is blocked. And ball still on the ground as both teams chase after it. Time will expire. There is a flag on the ground, though, so hold on. We'll have to wait to see if this is a defensive penalty. The Knights will get another play.
They get another chance. You think they change their mind?
I don't know. It'll be interesting. You see a field goal blocked. Will Coach DuPay, line up another one? Or will he take the distance, which would be put the ball on about between the 3 and 4 yard line and go for 6? About to get the call now from the referee.
Before the snap, delay of game, defense, number 41, who is calling Pavers to confuse the center. Half the distance to the goal, reset on countdown.
So a defensive delay of game call. They were trying to disrupt the center in the snap, is what the official says. So we will have another play here. It looks like Passy will stay on the field. So once again, Coach DuPay wanting to put points on the board. Another high snap that's brought down by Ball, and the kick is good.
Worth the decision to go for it again.
So the decision by Coach Dupay pays off there, and the Knights will take a 10-point lead into the locker room. So we saw a couple interesting plays there to finish off that half. First of all, Methodist attempting to punt. You know, the snap isn't a perfect snap, and the punter's knee hits the ground, which gives the ball back to Southern Virginia inside their own 10-yard line. And then the penalty by Methodist there on that fourth, where they got the blocked field goal, which could have sent them into the locker room just down by 7, but now they face a 10-point deficit coming out after halftime.
Yeah, Methodist, you know, they haven't played a bad game today, but it's just the little things, the penalties, right, that special teams debacle again, just little things. And Southern Virginia, they've been taking advantage of it. They've been able to use these mistakes and these penalties to put points on the board, whether it's 3 or 6.
So we want to thank everybody again for joining us here. We're going to take the time out for halftime. It will be a little bit of an extended halftime, as it is homecoming here at Southern Virginia. So feel free to join the broadcast. All those festivities will be broadcast throughout the halftime. But Hank and I will join you back for the second half here with SVU leading 16 to Methodist 6. We'll be back after halftime.
with Will Cole and the ninth marching band division of the Bohemian Rhapsody. Please welcome to the field as they join your 17 Junior White varsity night marching band, the Night Dance Team. Now get on your feet and clap along as the band plays by Southern Virginia University football. Let's give it up one more time for your marching knights and your knight team. Now we have something special for you sports fans. Please join us and welcome to the field the 2025 National Champion Southern Virginia University men's volleyball team. They are accompanied by several of the program's alumni who helped establish this nationally recognized program. They are in town for the Southern Virginia men's volleyball alumni weekend. In 2025, the team went 35-1 while claiming their fifth Continental Volleyball Conference title and avenging their upper season loss by the Springfield College in the NCAA championship final. With that win, the university's first NCAA national title. Christian Schaefer, Derek Coleman, Justin Matson, and Sam Cumberland were all selected as ABCA All-Americans, with Schaefer being personally chosen as the ABCA Men's Division III National Player of the Year. Head coach Tom Peterson was selected as the ABCA Men's Division III National Coach of the Year. Please join in a round of applause for the members of this championship team. Congratulations to all of our volleyball players. Let's give it up one more time for your national champion. Members of this team, Disco, Basin, Dayton Hall, Bryce, Freedom, Derek Coleman, Tino Hewlett, Justin Matson, Jeremy Collins, Nick Boney, Sam Coleman, Jeremy Brown, Christian Schaefer, Brady Blanchard, Curtis Stone, Malcolm Sutton, Isaac Carrillo, Tyler Evans, Brady Bassett, Brett Hall, Jason Lane, Taylor Frey, and Reverend Forrest Sutherland. Let's give it up for your national champion. We're about 5 minutes away from second half action here at Knight Stadium. Don't forget to check out the merchandise table, the concession stand, and also the raffle for 10 across the country. We're giving away over $200 of SVU merchandise, $1 a ticket, and that also puts a pen in the bucket for people in need. Please check out those things, and we'll be back with second half action soon.
We want to welcome everybody back here to Knight Stadium on the campus of Southern Virginia University. Today's homecoming game between Southern Virginia University and the Methodist Monarchs. During halftime, all the festivities with the band, the dance team, the cheerleaders also recognized the 2025 national champion Southern Virginia University men's volleyball team. Most of the players were back here for homecoming week and were recognized for their achievement last season. Want to recognize them here as well on the broadcast. It was an exciting time last May when the men's volleyball team brought that home. We are about ready for kickoff here. Knights will receive the third quarter kickoff. Stevie Leo will take the kick, and he'll take that out over the 30-yard line, and that is where the Knights will start. Hank, we were going over some of the stats at halftime. When it comes right down to it, 13-6, but not a lot of offense.
No, that's something we haven't really seen a whole lot of. It hasn't been an offensive clinic, right? Rushing attempts, rushing yards, 5 and 9 yardage-wise for each team. Methodist with 5, Southern Virginia with 9. And then passing hasn't been anything out of the park either.
No, 14 total yards between the two teams, rushing, and then passing yards. Methodist has 118, Southern Virginia with 84. Watson with the pitch to Roger Adam, and he gets to the edge, and he will go for a first down out to, it looks like, the 43-yard line of Southern Virginia. There is a flag on the ground. And it looks like this play will be coming back, Hank.
Not a great way to start, especially off. That was a really good run play by the Knights. Something we've seen from SVU this season is they come out at halftime. They're really good at making adjustments and coming out and firing on offense. Excited to see them since they got the ball to start this half. Looking for them to take advantage and come out firing on all cylinders.
Once again, the give to Adam, and he runs into 4 Methodist defenders, and they are going to bring him down for a 1-yard loss. And so the Knights are going to end up in a 2nd and 18. Watson with the swing out to Adams. He makes the catch and picks up about 5 yards.
Looked like it was a design screen, but with some options downfield. Watson's reading the coverage. Were they going to play man-to-man, bring a guy down there and cover that flat real tight, or if somebody was going to be open downfield?
3rd and 13. Watson steps up. He's got some room. Looking for a block, and he'll dive, and it looks like he's going to be just short of the first down. Referees mark him down at the SVU 40-yard line. He needed the 41, and SVU's lining up. Looks like they're going to go ahead and go for it. 15 seconds on the play clock. The Knights snap. Watson keeps it, and he'll gain 7 yards and go for a first down.
That was a really good play. I mean, the setup and the preparation for it was kind of long, right? They tried to get them to jump off sides, the fake snap count, and then that read option, right? It looked as though either option, the handoff or the keep, would have worked there. Defense kind of split between the two, and Watson able to get the first down.
Yeah, one of those situations where you weren't sure if they were really going to snap it. The give to Adam once again, and Methodist is right there to bring him down, and that will be a loss of 1 on the play.
We mentioned it earlier, the lack of rushing yards in the first half for SVU. Looks like they're going to try and remedy that with giving Watson some more carries. Kind of get the defense confused and split on who's going to carry the ball, some read options, just spreading out the load here.
2nd and 11. And confusion here on the Knights side offensively.
2 guys in motion.
We had 2 separate Knights in motion at the same time. So that'll be a 5-yard penalty. Bring up 2nd and 16.
That's something we've seen them use a lot today is that motion, either the running back or their slot receiver.
Watson has a man wide open. Pass is complete, and that is Marcus Solers out of the backfield. A little wheel route there. Went for a gain of 10. So it looks like the Knights are in 3rd and 1. And the give to Solers, and he fights. And it will depend upon where the officials place the ball. It looks like they're going to call it just short of the first down, so Knights offense stays on the field. 4th and less than a yard. Watson once again will keep it. He's going for the edge, and he will get the first down. He needed just under 1. It looks like he got 5 or 6.
Just what they need and then some, right? Really good play call there, good play design. A formation we haven't really seen before this game. They had a wing back on the inside, acting as a lead blocker for the dive if they wanted to do that, but Watson keeps it again and once again gets the first down.
Washington in motion. Watson with a touch pass over the middle, complete to Roger Adam for another SVU first down.
Couldn't have been more perfect. I mean, right over the hand, the outstretched hand of the receiver into his running back's hands.
The ball did hang in the air for a little bit, but it was a well-placed pass. It was never in danger of being picked off. Watson with time steps up. He's going to run, and he gets taken down after a short gain.
I really like what Southern Virginia's been doing on this drive. They've got these weapons in the backfield that haven't been able to get going on their run calls. So they've run these plays, these wheel routes, the running back right up the middle, like the last play. They're getting the ball to their running backs, allowing them to create space and be weapons and use their abilities.
Injured Monarch on the play. Number 3, Caleb Kelly. Tackle was made by number 91, Webster. Kelly looks to be okay, just receiving a little bit of treatment from the training staff.
We're under 10 minutes now in this quarter. All of it taken up by the Southern Virginia offense. They're doing a real good job of keeping the ball, holding on to it, even though they've had some penalties. They've gone backwards sometimes, but they've been doing a really good job of holding the ball, eating up clock, moving downfield.
Kelly up and leaving the field under his own power. Watson ended up gaining 6 on the play, so it'll be 2nd and 4. Ball is placed on the Methodist 16-yard line. Knights have a trio of receivers stacked at the bottom of the formation. And the pass option, the ball comes out and Methodist picks it up. And that is going to go for a fumble recovery touchdown for the Methodist Monarchs.
Yep, good job by that Methodist defense to be there. Right, we've seen Watson run the ball today, and especially this quarter, this drive, doing a really good job. Maybe just getting a little too comfortable in that position of trying to run the ball. He tried to give the stiff arm, give him some space to get some yardage there. Didn't work out for him, unfortunately.
So Methodist is on to attempt the extra point. It is up and good, so that will tie the score, or rather bring Methodist to within 3. SVU 16, Methodist 13, with 9 minutes, 14 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Just an opportunity play there by Methodist. Defense in the right spot at the right time. SVU was doing a good job driving. Nothing to be ashamed about on that drive. This time, maybe just a little bit better ball control, 2 hands on the ball, but they've played good.
So it was DeCane Williams that picked up that fumble and ran it back for the touchdown. So with that touchdown and extra point, that's quieted the crowd here at Knight Stadium down just a little bit as Methodist gets ready to kick the ball back to Southern Virginia. Short kick fielded by SVU, and that is going to be brought out just across the 30-yard line, but there are multiple flags on the play. Crusage was the Knight that fielded that kick and made the return. So the penalty will go against Southern Virginia for a blindside block. So that will back Southern Virginia up to their own 12-yard line.
Yeah, on the special teams on the kickoffs, Stevie Leo's been doing a really good job of returning it. I don't blame Methodist for trying to kick it away from him with that short kick.
1st and 10, Southern Virginia. Watson's going to keep it. He's looking for the edge, and he is stacked up by 2 Methodist defenders and brought down for little or no gain.
Last series, SVU started deep in their own territory, and they drove down, got down the field. I don't expect anything different here. They've just got to keep their confidence, kind of forget about what happened last time, and on to the next job.
Watson under pressure, and he scrambles for a gain of about 3. So the Knights are going to be in a 3rd and 6. And the Methodist defense, they're coming up strong right now on this possession.
They're doing a really good job. I mean, props to Watson for making something out of nothing there, but Methodist defense has been putting him under pressure, especially on this drive.
Definitely gained some momentum with that touchdown. Jalen Lackey with some room to run. He received a short pass from Watson and turned the corner, and there was a lot of daylight in front of him.
I think that momentum you just mentioned is starting to swing back to SVU off that play. Really good footwork. He had that defensive back kind of losing his ankles, lost where he was, and created some space.
The give to Sollers, and he will gain 1 yard on the carry. The give to Adam, and that'll be a gain of 2. So once again, Knights will be in a 3rd and long. Looks like 7 yards.
This bunch is formation on this side, looking for a swing or a screen out here, I think.
And there's a pass caught across the middle, DJ Perry. And it looks like he's going to be about 2 yards short of the first down marker. And it looks like the Knights are going to go for it once again. And the give to Roger Adam, and he fights forward. He was hit behind the line of scrimmage, but he was able to spin the defender for a gain of 3, maybe 4 yards and earn the first down for Southern Virginia.
I thought they were stopped there, but a little extra effort after the contact, and surprise, surprise.
Watson going deep. He's got Perry.
Little miscommunication on that route from the looks of it.
Actually, it looks like DJ may have had to pull up short on that route, as he looks like he might be a little dinged up. He's moving under his own power, but did pull up a little bit on that.
That would explain the overthrow, yeah.
Screen pass out to Lackey, and Lackey with some room once again has a first down to the Methodist 28-yard line.
Lackey coming into this game had 135 yards off of 11 catches. That's 12 yards a catch if you're doing the math.
Short pass, complete. And that is Mo Smith-Follow with the catch.
Here we see Watson spreading the ball out again, just hitting all of his receivers.
And a pass over the middle. Well defended there. Jalen Lackey is looking for a flag, and he's not going to get it. Third and 4 coming up for Southern Virginia.
This is about the spot where on the last drive we had SVU had that fumble. They've been doing really good driving the field. Watson has not been keeping it in his hands very long. He's been getting it out, getting it to his receivers, getting it to his running backs, whoever he needs to.
Watson with a pass, and that is complete to Jarick Washington, and that will be a first down, Southern Virginia.
Like I said, Watson he's fixed. He's not holding on to the ball as much anymore. He's getting rid of it. He's getting out quick.
Quick pass across the middle. That's Henry Audette, and he fights for a couple extra yards. That's going to be a gain of 7 on the play.
Another adjustment they've made, the offensive line, they were struggling before, weren't giving Watson enough time. And seemingly, they've been doing a lot better job on this drive. Not nearly as many defenders getting through.
It also helps the Knights offense running a little bit more quickly, a little bit shorter pass routes, quick hitters. And there's a give. Sollers looking for the edge, and he is brought down inside the 10-yard line. Omar Goodwin on the tackle for Methodist. 3rd and 2 for Southern Virginia. There's a quick pass out wide that falls incomplete, intended for Jalen Lackey. And you can see right there, Devin Watson, he wants that throw back.
Wide open, that short out route, that's gave him a pretty good chance at the end zone. Just right off the fingertips, just another inch or two closer to him, and it would have been good.
Alex Passy back on the field to attempt another field goal. This one will be 26 yards. He hit a 19-yarder at the end of the first half. That kick is low and just wide left. So another long drive for Southern Virginia where they're going to come up empty-handed.
Yeah, and you know, I would credit that stop to this Methodist defense, right? They're doing a good job bending, not breaking, because SU's offense, they've been doing a really good job this half. They've been moving the ball downfield, right? Both of their drives, they've started pretty deep in their own half, but they've been able to get down, get in the red zone even, and just not able to come away with some points.
Yeah, the first half total, they had 93 total yards, right? And so far in this third quarter alone, they have 146. So the offense is clicking. Now they just need to be able to finish some of those drives. Methodist takes over. And there's a give to Ferguson, and he is brought down by 3 Knight defenders. Spike Adams, Jamar Robinson also in on the tackle.
The Knights defense, they've had a nice long rest. This is their first time on the field this half, and there's only 3 minutes left in this quarter due to the offense, you know, taking up time-eating, moving drives.
Looks like no gain on the play, so 2nd and 10. Methodist on their own 25-yard line. Little looking to throw. He's chased by Brinkhurst. Gets the throw away, but it will be too wide and incomplete. That time, Kavika Brinkhurst applying the pressure. And they're going to get Blake Beardall for a defensive hold on the receiver.
That's a tough one. Knights had them under pressure, had a little under pressure, you know, caused that off-balance throw, but, you know, that holding might attribute the incompletion as well.
And there's a give that looks like to Ferguson, and he'll gain 3 yards on the play. You know, both teams have been penalized quite a bit today. You know, it seems like every penalty comes at a very inopportune moment for both sides.
Yeah, just the momentum is, it's just swinging back and forth right now. Each team driving, to stop the penalties. But good flexibility on both sides as well.
Little once again looking to pass. He's being chased. Spike Adams, Joseph Woods, and Woods is going to grab him and bring him down. It looks like Little will have a gain, or that will be a sack. Looks like a loss of 3 on the play. And once again, there's a flag. Looks like this is going to go against Methodist. So this will be a dead ball penalty, unnecessary roughness after the play was over by Methodist. So there's going to be another 15 yards tacked on to that loss. And Methodist will be in a 3rd and 23.
That's something you just never want to see for Methodist. You know, you just got the benefit of a penalty, the holding penalty. It's going to be 3rd and manageable, and now it's 3rd and very long.
Little back, he throws, he's got a man. Tony Napper is right there on the defense. That pass will be incomplete and bring up 4th down for Methodist.
Good coverage by Napper there. Right, that's about the only option I would expect Methodist to have, is just try to throw deep. It's 4th and 20, 23, somewhere in that range, and you just have to try and go deep, or arm punt it at least.
It looked like there was a little bit of separation, but Napper recovered well. Shane back to punt. Low kick is away. Lackey with an opportunity for a return. And he has an edge, and he has blockers out in front. And Lackey will take this punt back to the Methodist 17-yard line. Looks like they'll spot it at the 18. So Southern Virginia, they'll come out on this possession and start in the red zone from the 18-yard line.
Indirectly, Southern Virginia's special teams is doing a lot of heavy lifting today. They're putting the offense in really good field position. They're putting the defense in really good field position. It's allowed them, even though the offense and the defense, they've made some mistakes, it hasn't gotten away from them because of this field position they have.
1:28 left in this third quarter. Short pass. Caught. And that is Sintez Gibson, his first catch of the day. And he didn't go down easily. He was fighting for every inch that he could get. He'll take that ball down to the 10-yard line. So 2nd and short for the Knight offense. Jarick Washington wide open. And Jarick Washington, he will take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Southern Virginia.
I was just about to comment on how this is where Southern Virginia struggled this half, in the red zone. After that, last missed field goal, came off the field, obviously had a talk with their coaches, and they made the adjustments, and right off the bat here, scoring in the red zone off that great kick return.
And a real good team effort there for that score right there. You had the good defense to get that stop, a good punt return by Lackey to set them up in that good field position, and then in just 2 plays, the offense takes it into the end zone. The extra point is good by Passy.
Something you love to see as a coach. Just everything is firing right now. Hope to continue carrying that, into the 4th quarter. Finish this game strong. Put some more points on the board, and just be firm.
So the Knights are able to restore their lead to 10 points with 46 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Types of drives the offense loves. 2 plays, 42 seconds, and come away with 7 points.
They spent the majority of this quarter out on the field, but their one scoring drive, they weren't on it at all. Maybe that's something Coach DePay should look at.
I think he'd be happy with the time that the offense has spent on the field this quarter. I think he'd prefer to have a few more points showing for the effort. Nonetheless, he'll be happy with the 10-point lead. Scott DePay to kick off for the Knights. And that will go into the end zone for a touchback. So the Monarchs will return to the field and take over on their own 25-yard line, as they will look to answer with a touchdown of their own.
We've talked a little bit about time of possession in this game, some of the time management. Usually, Southern Virginia in their games is about 50-50. They've done a really good job today of holding onto the ball, eating up clock. Like you said, Coach DePay probably would want more points, but you can't really be upset when you're up ahead. You've been eating clock. You've had the ball.
Little keeps it, goes up the middle, and he is met by most of the Knights' defensive line and linebackers. Looks like he gained maybe half a yard on the play. You know, we touched on the Knights' offense and how they've been prolific here in this third quarter. Now, the Knight defense, on the other hand, they've given up a total of 1 yard to Methodist here in this third quarter.
In a whole quarter, 1 yard, I'd say is nearly perfect, if not perfect.
And Methodist won't be able to tack any yardage onto that 1 yard that they earned in the third quarter, as the third quarter has now come to an end with Southern Virginia leading 23-13.
Yeah, it really seems that that quarter was controlled by the Knight offense. Defense, one drive, I believe they were out there for, and then that final play of the quarter. But coming into this last quarter, they're going to be fresh. They're going to be feeling good. They've got the momentum on their side. They're going to be dangerous, especially as if it continues going the way it's going, Methodist is going to get desperate. They're going to try some tricky things. It's important to have some fresh legs back there, especially in the secondary, to defend these Methodist receivers.
Yeah, to your point, Hank, time of possession for that quarter, 12 minutes, 12 seconds for Southern Virginia to 2 minutes, 48 seconds for Methodist. And Methodist had a total of 9 plays in the quarter that went for a total of 1 yard, like we discussed. So Methodist here to start the fourth quarter definitely will be looking to improve on the effort from the third quarter, and they're going to need to if they're going to get back into this game.
Yeah, they need some big plays here. If I'm Methodist's coach, I'm going to try and get into my playmakers, right? Your wide receiver, Ty Benton, going to try and get to him, get it back to Bryson Osby. They've been playmakers today.
Little back to throw, and he is hit and brought down by Kavika Bringhurst, and Zainer Nigankwa into the game, gets the sack. And Little, to be honest, never stood a chance against the Knight defense on that play.
Yeah, the Methodist, the Monarch offensive line, I mean, just let them right through, it seems like. The defensive skills on this D-line are incredible, and you saw it there.
3rd and 17 for the Monarchs. Pass complete across the middle, taken out to the 30-yard line.
I really like that play by the Monarchs, right? Last play, your quarterback just got blown up by the defensive line. They're smelling blood. They're coming after you. Dial up a quick screen, get some nice, easy yardage. Unfortunately, it was 3rd down, but I would look for them to go back to that on their next drive.
Definitely Ty Benton on the catch and the gain. 4th and 5. It looks like Coach Kevin Williams was thinking about it for a second, trying to go for it, but just not a good decision here early in the fourth quarter. If you don't get it, you can't let the Knights take over at the 30-yard line. Ball is in the sun. Jalen Lackey picks it up on a bounce, and now he's looking for some space. Gets away from 3 Monarch defenders. There is a flag near midfield. And another flag in the vicinity of where the tackle was made. So the referees will sort this out, and we will get their call momentarily.
We'll see how deep SVU has to start in their own territory for this drive. This could bode pretty well for the Monarchs.
After the catch, during the return, personal foul, blindside block, return to number 2. That penalty will be declined. During the kick, holding the shooting team, number 9. 10 yards from the end of the kick. First down, Southern Virginia.
So both fouls went against Southern Virginia. So the referees will mark off that penalty yardage. And it looks like Southern Virginia will start this possession inside of their 15-yard line. Looks like the ball will be spotted at their 11-yard line.
Unfortunately, undoes all of Lackey's hard work and good footwork and speed to find some space and get some extra yardage there. But, you know, it doesn't put them pinned up against their goal line, which is good.
So the Knights here looking to get at least a couple of positive plays, give them a little bit of space. Watson, throw over the middle, Roger Adam, and he takes it out to the 25-yard line, and that will be a first down. Just what they needed right there to start this drive.
Immediately getting the space, they need a nice short pass. Roger Adam takes care of the rest, gets the first down, and just takes it upfield.
Watson once again has a man. It's Mo Smith follow. And that's incomplete. Looks like the pass may have been just a little behind Smith follow. Second and 10 for the Knights. And there's a give to Adam, looking for the edge, and he is taken down after a gain of 6 yards.
Yeah, that's a really good run. Right what they want along the sideline. Has a blocker, makes it third and reasonable. Expect them to do something similar, just a nice short, easy pass, something to maybe Adam here in the middle of the field.
3rd and 5. That was Omar Goodwin on the tackle. And a quick out to Smith follow for a first down.
Nothing crazy by SVU, but they're moving the ball really good. Just these nice short passes. That's what their bread and butter is. And the idea, hopefully, is to get these defensive backs biting on these short routes, and it opens something over the top or in the middle.
Knights content here to take a little more time as the clock is on their side. And they give to Adam, and he'll take that up the middle on first down for a gain of 3.
Yeah, the Knights, they seem pretty comfortable right now. They're taking their time, getting play calls, just making sure it's good, solid football.
Still not going to a huddle, but taking their time, getting the play call in. Play clock down to 10 seconds. And there's a pitch to Solers. And he is brought down. Looks like a loss of a yard on the play.
It looks like he just cut upfield a little bit early, had that blocker out on the edge. There's some space along the sideline. Probably wouldn't have gotten much more, but 3rd and long now. Any kind of gain you want, you're going to try and get.
Third and 9. And Henry Audette across the middle, out across midfield for the first down at the Methodist 45-yard line.
Great pitch and catch. I mean, 4 Methodist defenders around him. All you can see was a sea of white, and Watson does a great job getting it to Audette.
And we talked about this going into the half, but once again, Great adjustments made by the Knight coaching staff at halftime. Swing pass out to Scott Dupay, and that is a completion for 7 yards. There's a flag in the backfield.
Holding offense, number 63. So your penalty, repeat, first down.
And that will go against the Knight offense. So that will back them up 10 yards after a good gain on first down.
You just mentioned the adjustments that the teams made at halftime, coming out. And we've seen this in the last couple of games, especially, last game starting off slow, coming out, making a surge in the second half to come back and get close enough to win it, but not quite.
And Watson steps up, and he's going to be brought down. So a loss of 1 on the sack. Second and 21 is what the Knights face here, with just under 9 minutes remaining in the game. A handoff, and Roger Adam, he's got 10 yards to go, and he is finally brought down at the 1 yard line.
So close. What a great run. I mean, ran into his blocker, was able to bounce off and just take it out wide and find space.
So first and goal coming up from the Methodist 1 yard line. And the give to Roger Adam. And he goes over the goal line. Touchdown, Southern Virginia.
He's going to get it one way or the other.
Yeah, he did a lot of the heavy lifting right there on the previous play.
Those little adjustments, I mean, even from the third to the fourth quarter, we talked about it. First half, the rushing on either team was non-existent. And here in this quarter, it's been a little bit more consistent for SVU. 2-3 yards, just little ones, but then huge break here, get down into the end zone.
Passey's extra point is good. And that extends the Southern Virginia lead out to a count of 30-13. They'll take a 17-point lead into the last 8 minutes of play. And we'll be right back with the kickoff in just a few moments. Scott Dupay ready to kick the ball away to Methodist. Benton and Osby once again. This is Osby, and he is tackled at the 28-yard line. And that was Connor Owens with the effort on special teams. Connor Owens, he's had a strong game today, Hank.
Yeah, hasn't really had his name called out a bunch, but he's been felt, right, by Little here on special teams. He's been there almost every time. He's getting in tackles. He's been contributing, and he's not maybe the shining player we call out on the interceptions and the fumble recovery, but he's been there. He's been a solid piece of this defense today.
Been doing a lot of the good work in the trenches from the defensive side. Little with some time. That ball will be incomplete over the head of number 80, Tanner Zill. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
This SVU defense, right, we're coming to a close. Still some time left in this quarter for Methodist to march down and score and maybe get the ball back, hoping to win it. But this SVU defense, they're really good. They only allow about 15 points per game. So they want to keep it where it's at right now.
Little has a receiver. It is caught out at the 45-yard line. And a flag on the play. And that will be a hold that goes against Methodist, so that will bring that gain back and put Methodist in a 2nd down, 20 yards.
Here on this close to the field, trying to block Trayden Henderson. Right, we've talked about him a little bit today, how he's a force on this defensive line as well. He's a hard guy to block. He gets in the backfield a lot, so just the offensive line's feeling the pressure here.
Little will leave the pocket and run out of bounds after a gain of 8 yards. So that will bring up 3rd and 12 for Methodist.
Good blocking on this side of the field. This play by the Methodist offensive line and a little help from the tight end there. If you're the defensive line for SVU, you've got to maintain your rush lanes, especially here late in the game. We've seen Little run it. He can move. He can get to space. So maintaining a rush game, your rush lanes here are going to be important.
Here come the Knights defense, and they're going to get to him. That's Jamar Robinson and Britton Tidwell. And they drop Little for a 7-yard loss. And Robinson comes up injured on the play. Also a player down for Methodist. Looking to see who the injured player for the Monarchs is. You know, Hank, unfortunately, this is just part of football, right? It's a physical game. You know, players from both sides going at it, putting forth their best effort, and they couldn't do it. You know, now's a good time, you know, with the break in the action, unfortunately, due to injuries. Shout out to the sports performance coaches and also the athletic trainers that put so much time and effort and contribute so much to the athletic programs.
Yeah, they do a lot to keep these athletes held together. It's a punishing sport. It's hard on your body, and they do a great job.
Robinson, for the Knights, is able to get up and run off the field on his own. There continues to be a huddle around the injured player from Methodist. And they will bring the cart out onto the field.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes to get those piles in the middle of the field, in the middle of a play, and fortunately, you can get hurt and just doesn't go your way. You fall the wrong way. It's just one of the downsides of playing such a physical team sport.
Those guys on the defensive and offensive lines, they're big guys. You lose a little bit of leverage and get going the wrong way, and it can be difficult. While they sort things out on the field and attend to the injured player, we'll go ahead and take a break and be back with you in just a moment.
Injured players for the Monarch, I believe, is number 56, Chris Phillips. I thought compared that to him, it's in all today. 6:56 left here in the fourth quarter. Vermont 30, Monarch 13. We're almost ready to get back to action here.
Difficult to see the number. It looks like reports are number 55, Josh Purnell. He was carted off the field and being attended to by trainers over on the sideline. We wish him the best. Monarchs punting team on the field. A low kick. Lackey will let it bounce and roll. Now he picks it up, and he is brought down immediately at the SVU 35-yard line.
Yeah, the last couple times, Lackey, he's been taking it, those kicks into the sun. Kind of hard to see. He's let it bounce once or twice. Both times he's let it bounce, he's picked it up. That time, just taking a chance. No space was there, though, so. But Knights with some good field position here.
Knight offense will take over here with 6 minutes and 32 seconds remaining. Watson, quick wide receiver screen set up. And Methodist defends that well, caught by Jarique Washington.
Good job by that defensive back over there. Get through the block, right? You got help on the inside. So if you can get through the block, set the edge, you can shut down that play. Exactly what they did there.
Second and 9. Washington ends up with a 1-yard gain on the catch. Watson steps up and throws to the sideline, and that is caught once again. That's Washington.
Good play there, good throw. At first I thought he was going to overthrow him, but really he put it in a spot where only Washington would have been able to catch it. And He did have to dive to get it, but he got it.
There definitely was a defender there. Played that very well, and Watson, like you say, put it where only his receiver could make the catch. 3rd and 4. Watson across the middle, MJ Laws, and Laws will take that for a first down to the 40-yard line of Methodist. So once again, the Knight offense is clicking on all cylinders here in the second half.
Yeah, Watson did a really good job of reading that zone defense. Sometimes the problem with zone defense is it kind of leaves the middle of your field open, depending on which zone you're running. And right there, Watson was able to pick that apart.
Once again, the Knight offense taking their time as we are now under 5 minutes remaining in this game. Quick out to Laws once again. He breaks one tackle and then is brought down by a trio of Methodist defenders. Josiah Young and Christian Frazier on the tackle.
What's really helping Watson with these reads is the way they've got their wide receivers lining up. They're kind of close together, they're bunched. So off the break, off the snap, he's able to see if it's man on, who they're taking, and where he's got space and time to throw it.
Watson gives to Adam, and he is forced out of bounds after no gain, it appears. So 3rd and 3 coming up for Southern Virginia.
A good job by that Methodist defense. It was an outside zone to this side of the field, to the short side of the field, and they did a really good job of stretching that out, getting it to the sideline, holding it to a minimal gain, and even a loss.
Yes, looks like they spotted it for a 1-yard loss. 3rd and 4. Ball out to Adam, and Adam will fight for the 4 yards and get the first down for Southern Virginia.
Yeah, Adam, he's been a big part of this offense today. He's doing a really good job in every, facet of play, right? Receiving the ball, running the ball, even blocking. He's done a good job today. He's made a big impact.
.220 left in the game. 1st and 10. The give to Sullers, and Sullers will gain 2 yards on the play. And that should bring us down to the 2-minute timeout.
Yeah, here at the 2-minute warning. I mean, SVU, what they've done really well today is holding onto the ball, right? They've been eating up clock. I expect them to, I would not be surprised if they just choose to eat up the rest of the time of this game. Last 2 minutes, use it here. They're running the ball good, strong, short gains, but they're so close to the red zone that I wouldn't be surprised if they scored. It's an offense that it scores, it averages 36 points a game. They're at 30 right now, so a touchdown to put them right at that. This is a team that Coach DuPay is really proud of because they don't stop working, right? They're hard workers. They're not going to step off the gas. They're going to show respect to this Methodist team by continuing to go hard, continue to respect them and the effort that they're putting in as well.
Yeah, with 2 minutes remaining, I I believe Coach Dupay is more concerned with those 2 minutes ticking off the clock than he is with adding any points. Points he'll take. It'll be interesting to see if Greensboro uses their timeouts or plays it out. It looks like they just used their first timeout of the half.
It's 3rd and long. Good play stop there. I think that's a good use of a timeout. They can try and get the ball back within 2 minutes. Here at this distance, I mean, they've hit all their field goals today, SVU has, but this is a bit of a longer one. They might just... Right, SVU, I don't see them kicking a field goal from here if Methodist gets a stop, but they might try that, quarterback little blooper punt.
And there's a completion across the middle. That's Javen Ball, and he is brought down at the 1 yard line.
Of course you want to score on that play, but getting brought down on the 1 yard line, that's going to take some time off the clock too. It helps.
That's a new set of downs. A minute and a half left in the game, and that pretty much seals the victory for the Knights here. Wouldn't be surprised to see victory formation be the play of choice here for the next couple snaps.
Looks like that's the formation.
Watson will take the knee. And down by 3 scores with under a minute remaining, Methodist will allow the clock to keep rolling. And one more snap will be required by Southern Virginia.
Methodist, they started this game really good. Defense was doing a really good job, but like usual, SVU makes the adjustments at halftime. They come out and they just pedal to the metal. And they just pull away and, do what they need to get done. But Methodist defense weren't able to figure that out, weren't able to get on top of the offense as they came out, and they made the adjustments. That seems to be the story of how the Knights play, is that just coming out of halftime, they're able to outpace their opponents, no matter if they're winning or losing.
No, always you go into halftime, it's always, a chess match of adjustments, right? And it seems like this year, every time Southern Virginia's coaching staff has been able to make the right adjustments. Much to the delight of this homecoming crowd here, making a lot of noise here as the Knights now have sealed their 5th victory of the season. They improved to 5-1 overall, 1-1 in the conference. And with that, they clinch a 500 season at the very least, but they want more. Coach Dupay and his crew, now that they've got the 5 victories, they're 1-1 in conference, they're gonna keep pushing forward, to see what they can make of this season. A season that was long awaited by the players, by the coaching staff, and quite honestly, the university and the students as a whole, wanting this excitement, to be initiated by this football team.
Yeah, in an interview this week, Coach Dupay, he said that he's been proud of how each day, each practice, each week, the team's gotten better, right? They've been building off of everything they've learned from their games. They've been taking it to the next step up, something this program hasn't seen in a long time. It's been fun to watch, and just as Coach Dupay said, you can see it every week. They're getting better, and ultimately, of course, their goal is the pinnacle, right, to win this conference.
Well, and winning the conference at the beginning of the season may have seemed like an outlandish goal, but right now that group of player and coaches on the field, along with the student body up here in the stands, They are excited and optimistic about what this football team can achieve. You know, Hank going over some of the stats. In the first half, Methodist was able to gain 121 yards total offense. In the second half, 5 yards total offense. You know, so talk about the story of two halves. And on the flip side, we talked about Southern Virginia. They had gained 93 yards in the first half. And overall, for the game, Southern Virginia ends up with a total of 417 yards of total offense. So at the end of the day, that's 300 and, if my math's correct, 324 yards in the second half. So you talk about the adjustments made at halftime. You know, at the end of the day, 121 yards of total offense in a half, that's still a pretty good defensive effort. But to make the adjustments and only allow 5 in the second half, nobody would even imagine those numbers.
Yeah, especially a conference game. It's a big game, right? It's going to be competitive. But to be just that dominant on defense, it really does a lot. It helps your offense too, right? They're able to rest. They're able to talk game plan, strategy, what they want to do on the next drive, which I think allowed Southern Virginia to hold on to the ball for such a long time, to just make the incremental gains each time, the little gains, open it up wide a little bit, but they moved down the field on every drive this half.
And we talked about the effort a little bit in the first half, where the offense, you know, sputtered a little bit early, but the defense had their backs. They were out on the field a little bit more, and they really kept the whole team in the game. And then in the second half, you know, the defense took over, but the offense also took over and was very prolific in the second half. You know, like we said, gaining over 300 yards of total offense in that second half. So a great team effort, you know, special teams, defense, offense. Everybody was clicking today.
Yeah, we talk a lot about the defense, right? Coming to this game, defense #1 in the nation for defensive touchdowns, but also number 29th for scoring defense. But offense isn't far behind. They're the number 33 pass offense in the country, number 45 scoring offense. This team, they're working as a unit, like you said. It's something that's hard to do, because you have your offensive coaches, you have your defensive coaches, you have your special team coaches. You do different things at practice. So to be able to work as a unit like they did today is impressive, and it's a testament to what these coaches are doing and the mentality that they're teaching their players, right? All these coaches, you can tell they're on the same page. You can tell they have the same goals. It shows on the field with how these players are playing.
No, absolutely. It's fun to watch. Anytime teams are playing as a team and things are clicking, it's just fun to watch. You know, it doesn't matter the sport. It could be football, basketball, rugby, soccer, whatever it is. When everybody's clicking and playing together, it's just a fun thing to watch. You know, just to finish up with some individual stats here, you know, Britton Tidwell, the freshman, with a quiet, you know, of course he had the fumble recovery that he returned for 6 points. He ended up with 8 tackles on the day to lead the Knights' defensive effort, and Traden Henderson with 7. So again, that's 2 freshmen. So we talk a little bit about what the future holds. You know, defense being anchored, you know, by those 2 freshmen, and of course, a lot of contributions by the upperclassmen as well. Jamar Robinson had a great game. You know, hopefully he'll be able to recover from that injury quickly. Spike Owens, Cade Hansen, you know, just good defense all the way around. And then Devin Watson, we talk a little bit about the offense sputtering in that first quarter, you know, and he had it through an interception, you know, on the first possession. But at the end of the day, Devin Watson, 29 of 40, 72% completion percentage with 302 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. So at the end of the day, Devin battled back, and it was a great day for him. Also offensively receiving, Jalen Lackey, 4 receptions for 70 yards. MJ Laws and Jerick Washington, of course, with touchdowns on the receiving end. And, you know, we got to give a shout out to Roger Adam today, the real workhorse today on the ground, 90 yards in 15 attempts, you know, and 1 touchdown with a long 55-yard run. So, you know, all the way around, great efforts on both sides of the ball. We want to thank everybody for joining us in this broadcast of the homecoming weekend football game. Once again, Southern Virginia defeats the Methodist Monarchs by a score of 30-13. We want to thank everybody for joining in. I'm Colby Kemp. Hank, great working with you once again, and a shout out to our entire broadcasting crew. We want to remind everybody tonight, men's soccer, broadcast at 7 p.m. We hope everybody can join us. Thanks again for joining us in this broadcast, and as always, go Knights.
Out